Welcome everybody. Thank you for joining to this second training today. Not sure all of you came last week, so you perhaps don't have the context that we provided last week, but you can watch the video. It is posted on our website on the same event for registration that was happened for the last event, but it's there in the description. So perhaps Fernando, you can also send the link there, and afterwards, if you want to check it out, because today we are going to be focusing more on one of the core of the modules or the things to offer in Agoras, which is catalogs of data and how it's distributed, how people can collaborate with data, post data on this platform, and how they can share all of that, and the process that it's behind. So this is going to be the focus of this session. The way to go is I'm going to be just sharing my screen, going through a little presentation, then hands-on on the platform, and I'm going to show you what it is to offer, how to work with the tool. Some of you already have Agoras for your alliances, and you can request access to the things that I'm going to show to you now. Some of you don't yet, so I be aware that there's different points to start with the people that we are here, but any question that you have, any of you, it's welcome to be asked, and you can interrupt me at any moment because I will not be seeing the screen. So just unmute and your mic, and then you can ask the question, and it's no problem. Yeah. So I'm going to be sharing my screen here. All right. Can anyone confirm you are seeing my screen?
Yes, we can. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so Agoras, one of the requirements that we saw on alliances from a very, very early stage on with working with them is that they needed a repository to store data of information from different kinds of modules or types of data, and they wanted to store this information there and to be able for people on the community of the alliance to feed these repositories of data with information from the alliance, and this to be disseminated somehow. No, so I'm gonna. So the reason that's the reason why we developed this catalog module in the Agoras, which is the core module, which allows to store data from different models by defining a set of fields for a specific model, and then allowing the community to create records and to then these records of this information to be validated by some people. I will be going into more detail later, and then how to showcase it in a website catalog of some sort. But to allow this flexibility of any type of model or data that needed to be represented, to allow the same process from end to end. No. So as you see here, I have I put infrastructures, projects, internships, courses for students, for staff. These are kind of examples of models that we had the need to represent and to work with this, or research in innovation proposals, no, for researchers that are looking for collaboration. So I showed last week a little bit of these modules, so you can find it on the video there, but today I'm going to be going into more detail. No, but as you see here, to have some forms so that people could submit new entries into these catalogs, and then I'll have this management of some group of like a back office, so that a group of people that are managers of this information can validate the information. It's solid, and it can go public, which is what we are seeing here, and I'm going to be showing later. And then displaying it on the website. And this is the look of two different catalogs, but this is with an image, and this is more list view. But at the end, it's quite the same thing, the same concept. And then allow people to contact a specific resource of their interest, and then put in contact these two, the person who created this resource by the person who contacted this resource, to put them in contact through kind of, well, I'm going to show now, but that's using a CRM module, which is the customer relationship management module that it's typically used in companies, but we are going to show you now how it's been configured to be used in this use case, which is not typical, no? And this is what the catalog module does and what it can allow to create catalogs of different sorts of data. And then the processes behind us are also quite flexible. So when a new alliance starts, I showed last week the initial state of the Agora, and I'm going to show today as well. There are already some catalogs that are configured from start, no? And these are the infrastructures is already configured, internships as well, the courses as well, research and innovation proposals as well. But they may be other catalogs that are required by an alliance to represent some data, and these can be configured as well. Okay. So I'm going to be going now into the platform to show you how we can work on this. Okay, so wait, we'll look this one here. Okay, so this is the Agora, an example of an Agora, which is from it's not from any alliance in particular, but if you are not familiar with it, this is how it looks like. It has a set of services, and the one that are used or have been created using the catalog module are these: the course catalog, in this example, the internships, the research and innovation proposals, and the research infrastructures, which are catalogs of data. And if I go directly to them, I will see here that the research infrastructures has a catalog. In this case, if there's only one test resource, but this is the catalog of holding this information. The internships as well, it has some just a test record. The research innovation proposals there as an example. And you can read the information from this resource, learn more about it, share the resource with people, and then if you are interested in this particular resource, so contacting the proposal in this case, and hoping to be put in contact with the person who created this proposal. So I'm going to show you later how this works. I'm going to go step by step, but these are some examples. Yes. So from the perspective of the flexibility of the models, I wanted to start from end to end on the perspective of users, what they can expect from the process that it's behind all of this, no? From starting by the creation of a new proposal. So imagine a user from the alliance, myself, want to create the proposal. So there's this form on the website that the user can fill. This is the view that a generic user from the alliance, anyone who logs in can fill, no? And imagine here I'm gonna do this test proposal 1. Oops. Here. And this is the test description, and I don't have to fill all the fields, but these are the specific fields that are from the research and innovation proposal. And the user can create it just like that. So what happened now is that this resource has been created already, but it's not showing still on the catalog publicly because there is a set of people that has been configured to validate this resource. So I'm going to be showing, this is the view from the user that has created the proposal, and they can now forget about what they created. And then through an email, the user that is supposed to be validating this, which I'm going to be showing now, is this one here. Hold on. I'm going to start from the beginning, from the website view. This is the usuaria AUPA, no? This is a manager that is supposed to validate the resources. So through the here on the top left corner, if you were in last week, you would know that this is the access to the back office. This is the internal view that only the managers have access to. So the portal users, the generic users, only see this, which is the website. But what we are going now is it's the management place. So what the place where they would find this creation of the resource is on the CRM. The CRM module, if you don't know what it is, it's usually used in business to identify new process of when a new client comes, if they, I'm not really sure because I'm not an expert, but there's a way to process something to be sold, and then if there's these stages that you see here, which can be changed because these are apply on the world of business, and it's not our case. But at the end, it's a good way to track communication between people. No, what we see here, I'm going to show you, is it's an automatic email that has been created. So this is the record of what it is, but that an email that this user received, and it says that there has been a new research and innovation proposal that has been created, and it's waiting for validation. No, that they will receive an email, and when they click on the link on the email, they would see this record that we see here. And through accessing, as you see here, catalog element, test proposal 1, if I go here, they can read all the fields that the user has introduced, and they can be proposing some changes to the user who has created this. And the way to do it is using this messaging tool that we see here on the right. No, if the user here sends a message, I'm going to show you here. Alba Roma Gomez, which, well, it's me, but it's the user who has created the resource, would receive this communication, and we can say, hey, do you mind if we change this? Blah, 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 and they send this. The user is not aware of this platform behind, but the user will receive an email asking these changes to be made, and they can, through an email, exchange these conversations, and it will be all stored here, which is good for metrics to know what has been the impact or the communication between the users. And when the resource is ready to be validated, the manager would come here and click on validate. So if they click on validate and save, this resource would be public on the website. So now if I go to the website view here, and I load again, you see here the test proposal that has been validated, and it's public on the website. So this is how a new record is created and validated and showcased in the website. So the user who has created the proposal as well received an email saying that the resource has been validated, and they can go and check it out so that they are aware that it's now public on the website. But there can be, depending on the process, some intermediate stages that could be configured. No, this allows to, for example, whenever a resource has been created, at first to send some indications, an automatic email with some indications regarding feedback or something to the user who has created the proposal. It can be configured. No, so but at the basic configuration, it's just the validation of the resource itself. So the way to configure the group of people who is going to be a manager of a specific set of information, in this case is research and innovation proposals, here there's only one person who's manager, but there can be more than one. So then there's a way to describe what it's called in the CRM world sales teams, but in this case it's not in sales. But these are groups of people, of managers of different inquiries or different requests or different things, no? And the one that we are using here for this use case that I'm showing now is the Research and Innovation Proposals Managers sales team. So all the people that it's under this sales team and that are managers, they will receive this automatic email asking for validation when a new resource is introduced into the platform. This allows to, I'm showing this example all with the Research and Innovation Proposals, but it's the same for all, or quite similar to all. Okay.
Alba, can I add a remark here?
Yeah.
Actually, if the manager decides that the content doesn't need to be validated, there is this automated option that we can, once they have created the proposal, it can be automatically uploaded to the website. So it's very much depends on the type of catalog, whether it needs to be validated or not. In most cases, they prefer to validate, but we have this option that if it doesn't need to be validated, it can just be added automatically. Thank you.
Yes, exactly. This all depends to the possibility to have these managers and if the resources that are there can be freely created or not. That's depending on the case. All right. So this is it from this perspective. So that also where the information about the research and innovation proposals is stored. For all the catalogs, there is this application here that you see, which is separated from the CRM, but it has the same view of the catalog, all the resources, the validated and non-validated, which also contains the information from all of the resources and can be modified from here as well. So if you weren't here last week, that's why it was maybe not clear. But this is the back office view, which if information is changed here, on the website is also changed. So this is the place to manage the information that it's showed on the website. Okay, and yes, I wanted to, from here, you can find the resource from this catalog, but also from the main page of the Agora, because this we already showed it last week as well. But this has the main page of the Agora has a search engine here that it looks through all the resources on all the catalogs. The one that I was showing now was the specific one for research and innovation proposals. But if here I look for the test, well, there are many tests. So the test proposal one, this is the one that I created now, and it's showing on this. But as there was some test in the course catalog and the research and innovation infrastructures, that's why they are showing as well. But this is another place to search for information on these catalogs, but from the wider perspective. Okay, so until here, everything's good? Yes? Good. So now I'm going to show you the way to communicate or to contact some of these resources from the perspective of a user, and a third user that has not been the one who created the resource, non the manager. So this is Clara. This is the other example, and this person is a researcher and is really interested in this test proposal, and she wants to contact it. So instead of giving us publicly the email of the person who created this proposal, and then they can freely conversate through each other, to avoid missing information about the collaboration that has been done there, we are using as well the CRM module, so that all communications exchanged through email between these two people are tracked on this CRM application. So that's why this person has to fill this form instead of sending a separated email. That's the reason why to do it. So here, hey, I am interested in this. Oops. They can send this email, and now what happens is that both the person who sent this form and the person who created this proposal, this resource, received an email that saying that there's this collaboration that that happened, and they can just start talking after this email. But I'm going to show you the view of the CRM, so that we can see the email. It's this one here. Okay, so as you see, this is a new opportunity that it's called on the CRM world that shows that an email has been sent to both Alba and Clara, who are the two people that are the stakeholders on this collaboration, and saying, hey Alba, we're reaching out to inform you that Clara has shown interest in your research and innovation proposal, and we are facilitating this connection. Feel free to communicate by replying to this email. These templates can be modified as well, no? But the purpose is to send a communication to these two people. And here it's the message that Clara, hey, I'm interested in this, Clara sent to Alba, no? So this is how it looks here. And whenever they have this conversation, all will show here. And then for feedback purposes, they can be configured additional steps to this process to say, okay, after 20 days of this communication or this creation of this proposal, we are going to send an automatic email asking for them if it was a fruitful or a good collaboration between these two people. So this can also be configured.
Alba, Slav raised hand.
Yeah.
Yes, I have a question. Who can see this communication now you're showing from the back channel?
Yes.
Who else can see and how?
Say it again. Who? You said you asked who?
Who can see this communication and how? From which form?
You said who? No, sorry. The mic is not good.
Okay. Now you're showing that you can see the communication through the backend.
Yeah.
Backend can access the manager. And what about first the proposal? The person who create the proposal, the person who send interest,
yes,
an email, and any other person. How these three groups of person can see
exactly? Okay, good question. So the CRM module is initially, for most of the people, it's not visible. It's an application that it's here, but it's usually only accessible by the people who the managers of the different services. But even though with that, the managers of the only people who will be, there's different levels. There's a way to see all the opportunities, so that there's an admin level that can see all of the communications from all the different people, no matter what. And then there's this middle level that is if you are a follower, I'm going to explain now what it is, of this opportunity in particular. If you have access to the CRM, you will only see the opportunities that you are follower of. So if that means that in this case here, the manager of the research proposals, the person who created, and the person who contacted, as they are all followers, if they had access to the CRM, they would see this proposal, but not the proposals that of other people and that they contacted and they are not managers of, or that they not creators or contacting of these proposals. Yeah, I don't know if that's clear, but usually for users that are creating proposals or that are contacting proposals, they don't even have access to the back office. So if they don't have access to the back office and not access to the CRM, they will never see this opportunity. They will only have track of these communications because of the emails that they received, but nothing else. Yeah. Okay. There was let's hear the
Antonio raised hand.
Yes, go ahead.
Thank you very much. Maybe you already mentioned it last week in your webinar. Sorry, I didn't have the time to watch it. Is this Agora already working for some alliance and with real examples? I mean, is it? Do we have real world examples? And those refer. There is some revenue references there in terms of business approach, I guess.
Yes.
I mean, I guess those fields will need to be adapted. So is it still ongoing, or is it like the final result of this?
No. Okay. Yes. For the case of what's the stage of usage of the CRM, mostly on the alliances. For the Agoras that we have deployed, the one that Unite Alliance is the one Agora that it's used in production mode more for a longer time. And this is the one that we have with more examples. I would show you, but I'm afraid some personal data may show on this. But this has been used a lot. But in practice, we have been the ones, AUPA-EU, we have been the ones, together with some people with Unite, the ones managing the CRM platform, because at the end, as I said, there's not a lot of need for even managers to have access to the CRM, so they are not actively coming here so much, but more than replying the emails. But regarding the configuration of these revenue fields and all of that, yes, it can be configured, so it's not the final state. And most of them can be hidden, and if they are not apply. So perhaps this view will for sure change so that it's more simple, or maybe that the fields that are not used are not shown. The reason as we were the ones managing for this, that's why some of the fields just stayed, because they are confusing, so they can be configured. And as well with the columns that we see here. In Unite, we have different ones, and it can be changed from configuration aspects.
Okay.
And all of that.
And who configures that? I mean, as manager of the alliance, can I configure those fields?
Yes. No, sorry. These columns thing, yes. The fact of hiding a field, for example, this we would have to do because it's changing the template, the view of the template. But
you will have to do it. So if we are using Agora in the EU Green Alliance and we need to modify those fields, we need to say, I guess some of my partners already asked that. So this is my first touch with Agora. Sorry for this, but probably these are relevant also for the rest of attendees. So we will need to send a request to you, Aupau, to modify this.
Exactly. To say this view, we would like to, this is not relevant for us. We want to change it.
And I guess this is the case also for what you showed at the beginning of the meeting, where a student, for example, wants to register a proposal, and there are different fields that needs to be filled in, like this is a research proposal, health, or whatever. Those fields will need to be modified also by you. So that means
these fields of the data models itself here, the ones that we have, for example, for one of the catalogs, there's this admin level that can configure the fields of this. But in the case of EU Green, for example, it would be done through Stefan and me, for example, together. But it can be modified by yourselves, but it's not everyone, because it's delicate. It's a little bit. If some fields, core fields, or some fields that may have some problems to be changed, it can lead to some errors. So that's why it's something that it needs to be careful, these configurations. But for the aspects of these, for example, these can be changed by you.
Thank you.
No problem. Okay. Is there any question at this point? Yes? Yes, Levko, go ahead.
I also have a question regarding who can log into Agora modules, and when you log in, you can create a new resources. For some modules, it makes sense for research proposal for all the academics, but not for the students. And for other modules like research infrastructure, we not want anyone to create. How we can control who can create, even if it's not published.
Yeah. I understand. Well, for all of the catalogs that configured it at the beginning, there's this form that has been configured on the website, but it can be removed in the case of not wanting nobody to create the resources from the website. The page that we have created for the form could be deleted, and this button as well. And you could be the ones doing this because of the website edition module. You can delete pages of the Agora freely. Another day we can talk about how to edit the website, how to configure things. But in this case of not wanting nobody, you would remove this page and remove the button, no? So then nobody can create resources from the interface. And then in the case of restricting a specific group of people, whenever someone logs in to the Agoras, they are using their institutional credentials, so through EduGain. And there's these there's these types of groups of people that are given through EduGain, and it's helpful, which can tell us if someone is a student, or if it's a staff, or if it's teacher. But between different, or what we have found so far is that between different universities, they have different terminologies for different types of people that are working on a specific position. And then it's not so easy from us, when somebody logs in on the Agora, identify the beginning if they are students, or if they are staff or teachers. So we could eventually, at the moment, right now, the way it is, we don't identify when someone logs in at the beginning if they are a student, or if they are staff, or they are somebody else. So then in order to restrict some creation of the content, from the website perspective, there are different ways of restricting access through, for example, through a passcode, like a password, that what allows a page is to be hidden or to be restricted, and it shows a specific page, and not all the Agora. To insert the password, and if you insert this password, you have access to the page. This is something that has been used in Unite for some cases, because if the person who is supposed to be creating the content has the password, they can access to that specific module. But this configuration of student or staff, it could be distinguished if for an alliance it's clear that all EduGain processes give specific tags. We can then, when someone logs in, separate into different groups and then make this page visible only for the group of people that are staff, for example. But this is a little bit more tricky, or I would say specific to one alliance, and it can be configured, this kind of restriction, but it depends on the use case. I don't know if I answered the question.
Yeah, I think you understand now.
Yep. Good. Okay. So if that's okay, I'm gonna go now into the part. Well, I already said the contact part. Okay. Well, I can show you a little bit the flexibility. Maybe it makes more sense to explain this when we explain the website edition, but I want to show the flexibility of what the information showed on the catalog display. Because, as I said, there are some fields of this model that are maybe sensible. Here I'm showing only a set of fields, and this can be changed and modified by you freely, no? And imagine on the back office, we have information of the user and the email of the person who created it, but we don't want to show it here. So I'm going to show you a little bit on how the website edition allows you to control all of this. If I click here on the editor, if I have access to the edition of the website, I see here this edit button. And this module, this website edition, it's quite modular. If you have worked with other website creators, but then you see there are blocks, and you can drag and drop different modules, images, texts, and it can be modified quite easily. And this one is the one that we created. No, this is the display of elements. And here there are many things to be configured. If you want a contact button or not, what color do you want for the back to or of the card or not? If you want, there are different things that we could go through. If you want the list display, or if you want the card display, which has the image, considering that it has an image on the model. And here you see that there's this selector that says the Odoo model. So this shows all the different data models that there are on the Odoo here that I would like to represent on a list display. So if I click this model, then any type of model can be put on here, and then I can choose the title, what's the field that it's going to be on the title of the card, if there is a subtitle, which is the field that would go there. And then there's a way to filter as well from the beginning, to never show, for example, the resources that come from this university. I don't know why it would make sense, but we could apply like a beginning filter here, an order criteria by a date, creation date, by alphabetically of the name of the resource. I just wanted to show you a little bit how the configuration of the web view of this is. And then here is the set of all the fields of this model, which I can choose whether it show or not. In this case, the name I want to show, delete. This one is a field that it's relating the CRM resource that creates on the beginning when the model is created, a new element is created. Sorry, it doesn't make sense to show it here. The contact person as well, so that's why it's untoggled. If I click the validation, that means that only the validation fields, the validation resources will show. As Fernaz said, if I don't want this, I can unclick this, and then all the resources would show, validated and non-validated. Here, the type of candidate is another field, but as you see, there are some other things underneath each field that allows configuration. Imagine if I want this field to be on the filters. You see here, there's 3 filters: the type of candidate, the subject area, and host university. those are fields from the internships model, and they are showing a filter because I chose that I wanted the filter for the field, the type of candidates, and it's a button filter. That means that I can only choose one or another. If I wanted to be able to filter like the subject area, which is a multi filters. Well, actually now as I was editing, I think I messed it up. You could change the type of filter, and you could add more or remove filters on this display. And also the widget one, I'm not going into a lot of detail now, but this allows you to specify for a type of field, if it's a date field, if I want to render somehow with a different HTML that it displays like a little widget or a little something, you could configure from the back office like HTML that you want for this particular field, and choose from here that you want a specific widget to display this field. I don't want to go very technical into this, but this allows you to modify some of the HTML rendering or the styling of some of the fields for this website view. Yeah, I just wanted to tell you this because sometimes for the website representation it's helpful. And I think that's it from the configuration from the website. Yes, someone has a hand? Or yes, Lavka, go ahead.
It's me again. And yep. So the managers from the Alliance can do that when it gets stable.
Yeah.
But currently, in our case, from CircleU, we are not allowed to do this.
You are if you have access to the website edition. So this is when on the Excel of access that I provide, there's one option to have website edition. If you have website edition permission, then you can access to this and modify all of this configuration. You should be able to. I don't remember now you particularly if you had access to the website edition. I think you do.
I couldn't see on the current page this edit button.
Usually as this is not showing until I click on editor here. You see?
Mm-hmm.
So check if you can see this editor button.
No, I don't.
Oh, you don't? Okay.
No.
So then it's probably because you don't have this access to the edition module, but we will provide it to you. No problem.
Okay.
Anyone who has access to the website edition can modify these sort of things. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So for when it comes to this, the contacts, the catalogs, there's also the need, or the need has in Unite, it appeared to render or to fetch the information from the Agora database and display it somewhere else of the Alliance. This happened because, for example, Unite has another website. I'm going to show you the website of Unite, which is not the Agora. The Agora is the collaboration hub, I would say.
Sorry, Alba. Sorry to interrupt you. Just wanted to let Slavko know that I have gave him access to the editable website. He can check if everything is fine.
Good. Thank you, Fernas. So this is the Unite website. It's not the Agora, no? But they wanted to show some information of the Agora. You would see, for example, these are news. I don't remember now here where they have. For example, in Learn catalog for students, this here, that you see here, particularly all. This is the same look as it has on the Agora because they used sort of an iframe of a page of the Agora and on their website. This is something that it's possible to do in the case they are gathering the information on the Agora and they have the display in different places and they use this iframe here. But in other places on the same website of Unite, they're using an API that we have. I don't want to go technical, but just to show you if someone is familiar with this. the look of it, but this is a simple API to get data from the database of the Agora. So this is possible to do. We configure like a key that then allows the people to use this API, and this information can be fetched and put in other places, just so that you know that this exists. And also the possibility through the API here are not put the endpoints, but to create or to put data on the Agora database as well. For example, if a system, a university has a database and information already, a repository, and they want to introduce all of this information into Agora, they can use this kind of synchronization configuration using our API and then put the data on the Agora, and then it would show, the catalog would be fed through this source of information. I wanted to also make this aware because it can be useful for already existing databases of information. At the end, it would be a matter of mapping which are the fields now that from one place should be put into which of the fields on the Agora module, but then it can be configured. And it has been done in Unite as well. I think I got most of the points that I wanted to discuss. I don't know if there are some questions now from your side that you would like, or something that you were more intrigued to know more about. Okay. Well, it's good. I don't know if we can stop the meeting a little. Ignacio, go ahead, please.
Hello, this is something that my coordinator in Paris asked me, and I was not sure what was the answer. Where is the data of our alliance stored? Is it at the UPC or university?
Yeah, it is on. All the Agoras are deployed on UPC servers that the AUPA EU project has. So. At the moment, the current version and scenario is that the Agoras are deployed on UPC. And there are future scenarios that we are still outlining of whether these Agoras could be deployed as well in the own servers of the universities, other universities, if this is something that is required, but right now, as we are in charge of the deployment of the Agora, it's convenient for us to have it on our servers, because we have control of new updates of the code or new features, or if some upgrades have to be done. So that's why it's convenient for us. But we are exploring other versions to deploy the Agoras, perhaps in a simpler version or something that it's more open source version or open source format, that it can be deployed on different Agoras, but then in different alliances or different servers. But this is more on the vision to do when it comes more towards the end of the project, so that we have options for alliances to move it to other servers. But it's on UPC.
And one more thing, right now we are considering testing, Malaga University is in charge of this part of our project, in Innovis Alliance. And just one doubt, because the rest of the partners, they don't know if they, we want to have a better understanding of Agora before proposing to them.
Sure.
In order to test our Agora, is it convenient that we have another partner also involved? We can just test it at the University of Malaga. What do you think? I don't know if I'm.
Do you mean that if you need more partners in order to start testing?
Yeah.
No, I don't think so. For us, we like the idea of deploying a testing environment so that you can get an idea early on whether it's something that it's good for you or not. So we can deploy an Agora which has similar as I showed you now, that it's empty of alliance content, that it's just allowing you to test and to perform all of this. We can do that for you. It's no problem.
And they will be able to see it from their universities just as end users. Okay.
No, we would provide you a URL for you, public,
Okay.
so that it's knowing that it's a test environment, but it will be public on a URL for you, and you can display this and as a proof of concept, no, to them.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
No problem. Okay. Is there any more questions? Great. Well,
just one thing. By the way, I have added the Agora support website, which you can find the training material. It's mostly videos for how to create the session, how to create catalogs. I mean, add content in the catalogs, and regarding the event module, for example, we will have a webinar for the training of the event module for sure. But in case if you want to start testing the platform, you can use this material in the Agora support. Just now I have sent to the chat. Thank you.
Thanks, Fernas. If anything, any questions, anything comes, you can write to us, and we will provide the information necessary. If you want this proof of testing environment to start working on, Ignacio, please also we can start with that, and for the rest as well if needed. Anything, we are here. Thank you so much for joining. So I hope to see you all next week. Okay.